Hello, YouTube community, pedal nerd lover people. Welcome to the first in a series of demos by me, your pedal nerd Henning Pauli, about Mooer pedals. Now, before we go and talk about Mooer, we're gonna have to find out if this is actually Mooer. I think it is. I talked to them at the trade show in Frankfurt, and apparently it's Mooer, but I always read it as Mooer, because in Germany OE is an Ö. But since it's two O's, it could be like a cow, like Mooer, or Mooer, like lawn mower, or... So, to lift the veil of doubt about the correct pronunciation of the name, it's Mooer. It's more. That's what it is. Like, you want more, but spelled in a funny way. Those Chinese people, they're funny. So seriously, I met the team from Mooer at the trade show in Frankfurt. Very nice people. There's, of course, Jason, who hooked me up with the first series to test, which is 8 of them. So there's really cool reviews coming. Most of all, actually, I've got 2 reverbs from them, the Shimverb and the Skyverb. So we're going to actually have a comparison so that you can determine which one is for you. And we're going to have all 4 delays of Mooer, so you can find out which is the right one for you. But first I have to figure out, how they work and how to show them, which we will do. Today, yellow guitar, but not just yellow, also another one. Yellow pedal, and even though I'm wearing the shirt, which, they asked me, hey, can you maybe wear the shirt in the video? I'm not paid by them. You have to know that. I always get asked, hey, with Joyo and Mooer and all these people, do they pay you? Well, they should. Seriously. But, no, they give me the pedals. I have fun with them. And, I need to be able to say, this is crap, this doesn't work, it's a cool pedal, but this should have been done differently. If they pay me, I can't do that. So rest assured that everything you see in these videos is my opinion, which doesn't have to be your opinion. Sometimes I don't even know how to use a pedal right, or what a certain function does. So please keep the comments coming and let me know if I mess up, because I'm not perfect. I look like it, hello, but, I'm not. So, we're looking at the yellow comp, which, seriously, I'm wearing this, but for me, the best compressor I have played so far. It gives me the clean sound I've always been looking for. Let's put it this way, because it changes the frequency response a bit, makes your sound sparkle. It's very, very cool. Now, let's talk about the markings on the pedals. You see those little mini ports, because you know the pedals are tiny, they're not very big, which is very cool because they actually have a mini pedal board which will fit in your gig bag. Can you believe it? You can, I think, fit like 6 or 7, 8 pedals on there. And with the little connectors, which you also saw on the slideshow at the beginning, this is very cool. Little tiny bag, and you've got a pedal board with everything you want. So they're very tiny, and they didn't used to have markings right here on the little mini knobs. And on these pedals, except for the Skyverb, I actually drew it in. But from now on, they will have markings. So when you order a Mooer pedal, it's going to look like the one that, I built here for you. So it's very nice to see the markings on the mini knobs. Pretty much no company does that. So that's definitely something way cool. And something Jason asked me to point out, which is, I think, very cool at a pedal in this price range. And remember, guys, these, or girls, these pedals will run you less than $100. Sometimes, $65. I've even seen some for $59, depending on which pedal. So these are inexpensive but high quality pedals. Aluminum housing, very sturdy. The connector, the power supply, a 9-volt connector is on the top, so it doesn't interfere with the cables. And very cool, they are using serial numbers now. So when you get your pedal and you turn it around, there's a barcode. And on the box is the same barcode. And starting from the factory, they are registered, where they go, who's selling them. So you will be able to track exactly, or they will help you track where your pedal came from, when it was sold, if there's a problem with it. They will find out how old it is, all that. So that is a lot of logistical stuff to go through for some pedals, but I think it's a very, very nice detail. Packaging, very nice. You've seen pictures of it, actually not in this slideshow, but in others. So, what else? We have talked about the serial numbers and the markings and the fact that I'm not paid. Before we talk about the sound of the yellow comp, we need to talk about what a compressor is. Now, of course, in the guitar world, there's a lot of compressors. There's the very, very famous and popular Dynacomp from MXR. I have it. Dynacomp gives you a very specific thing. It's got only compression level, so threshold and makeup gain. It rounds off your sound and makes a little bit of a plop. It has nothing to do with the yellow comp. It's very different. I have demoed a couple of compressors before. For me, the first time I plugged this in, I loved it. At the show, I tested it with the Mooer AC, a little 5-watt amp, which more people, seriously, get me one of those. Today we're testing it with a PRS SE20, of course, very nice amp, but I can show you a €200 amp, 5 watts, that will sound insane. And look at the video on my channel where I show you the booth and where I play at the booth, and you hear the amp there. I hope I can get it here soon for testing purposes and using it in all the more videos. I know I talk a lot. Screw you, that's what I do. There's another video of the yellow comp, and I gotta tip my hat to David Escobar from Colombia. Yes, they play guitar in Colombia, and holy crap do they play well. David is a very, very nice guy, big tattoos on his arm, and plays like a motherfucker. And he's very, very good. And he did a demo of this and also the Mod Factory, which is, I bitch a lot about other people's demos. There's nothing to bitch here. His playing is great, the recording quality is great, he shows it nicely, he doesn't talk your ear off, he just plays, but you know what, hey, kind of everything. So watch David's videos, really, really cool guy. So if you want a different kind of demo of this thing, you'll find it there. David Escobar, Mooer, that's all you have to put in. What does a compressor do? Well, let's put it this way. You have a signal which is a certain volume, okay? And on the guitar, you have a big transient, meaning a big attack, which is a plop, and then it goes down relatively fast, okay? It's not like a flute where you have a big sustained wave. It pretty much just goes down relatively quickly. So a clean sound. Should we talk about the setup later? Especially with a Telecaster like this, LSL, very nice. It has a big transient and then goes away. But a compressor can help you kill that transient. So a compressor you set a certain level. So as soon as your signal goes above that level, the compressor will make it quieter by a certain ratio, meaning, let's say, 2:1. So for every 2 dBs that you feed into the compressor, above that threshold level, it will only give out 1 dB. So an 8:1, meaning for every 8 dB you give in, only 1 comes out. The result is your signal will be quieter. Okay, so everything that goes above the threshold level will be quieter. But that also means now your really loud part of the signal, which is a lot quieter, can be raised up in level with the gain knob or volume knob. And that means all the quiet stuff in your signal will also come up. So it will sound as if you have more sustain. When a compressor actually starts to compress is set by an attack knob. So I can actually say, leave my attack there and come in, let's say, 20 milliseconds after I've hit that threshold, which means slightly after that transient came through, it's going to compress and bring the rest up. It will result in your signal being spiky and the attack is there, but then also it has sustain. This doesn't have an attack. This doesn't have a ratio. So I don't actually know what the ratio is or what the attack setting is. You pretty much have a threshold, a makeup gain, how much louder you will get it, and a little EQ knob. We'll get to that later. So let me show you a little thing I recorded. If my lovely assistant Leslie will turn on the video, it will pop up right there. Okay, here we are. We're using the Waves C1 compressor, and you can actually see very nicely a guitar signal. You can't hear it, but a little guitar underneath coming in. And right now, nothing's happening, okay? So I'm taking the ratio down. It's right now 2.1 against 1, so for every 2 dB, there's only 1 dB going out, and you can see in the red, that's how much it's compressing. So it's pushing 12 dB down, which means it will actually be a lot quieter. It'll be 12 dB quieter. And now I'm actually limiting, meaning once it hits the threshold, nothing comes out above that. So for 100 dB in, no more come out. But now I'm pushing the makeup gain. So I take the whole thing and raise it up in level. Okay? So right now it's compressing like crazy. You see the blue bar going above the threshold. The red bar is how much it compresses. And then with the makeup gain, I can change how much I'm boosting it. So I make it quieter to control the high volumes of my signal. But then I raise up the whole thing. Okay? There's also attack and release and all that good stuff, which can get kind of tricky. Again, attack could be to preserve your transient. Some compressors kill your transient. Some compressors preserve them, depending on how they're set. This one actually preserves it. So this is really nice. Looking at it through this graph that we just saw can illustrate it a little bit more. Really understanding what a compressor does takes a while. So let's look at it. We've got the good yellow comp here. And later on, just to let you know, I'm going to add a little bit of distortion and some reverb and also a little bit of modulation just to show you how cool a clean sound you can get with this puppy. I'm using the Mod Factory from Mooer and I'm using the Shimverb. I don't have a Mooer overdrive yet, so I'm using the Moval Hornet, one of my favorites. So, sorry Mooer, should have given me an overdrive. So, For this video, we're using an LSL T-Bone Telecaster, but also a Music Man Steve Morse, so you can hear humbuckers, because people always say, could you show more single coil? Okay, and then you're gonna say, could you show more humbuckers? So I try to do both. Also, we're feeding different levels into it. This doesn't have a lot of output. And this is going into a PRS SE20 amp on clean. Very nice 6v6 powered amp. Going into Igniter 112 cab, which is mic'd with an Shure SM57 and also a Marshall MXL. No, it's not Marshall, it's an MXL some ribbon mic. Inexpensive, both of them mixed together. Going into new Universal Audio 4710D preamp, both set to solid state, so there's no true coloration adding to the sound. Whew. Okay. So that's my clean sound straight into the PRS SE20. I'm gonna go straight to the sound the way I like it set up with this, and then we're gonna flip it around a little bit. So without the comp, soft edges, you know, pillowy, round, very nice. Round, clean sound. I mean, the diesel would get me even more roundness. Or tweed amp would get me more roundness. This is medium. I do like the really sparkly clean sound, and you can get this with the push of a button. So this is louder now than my uncompressed sound. So I'll take the volume down. You can hear the string more, you can hear the metal more. Metal! No, different kind of metal. But you have, the attack is still there. It's very, very nice. This is what I'm looking for with the clean sound. You can just imagine it cutting through a mix like a knife. Very, very beautiful. So let's look at the controls. I have it compressing quite a bit. So let's go slight compression. Don't even know if you'll hear a lot. See, now makeup gain has to come up more. Thins it out quite a bit, so I like it, you know, really pushed. For me, this is the type of pedal that you pretty much put on your pedal board and just have on. You just have it on. Period. Now, the big question always with the compressor is, where in the chain do you put it? I think it belongs as kind of the first pedal, but you could put that anywhere in the chain and it will have different results. Now, let's talk about distortion or overdrive. The more you drive your sound, usually the more compressed it gets, okay? And a compressor behind it won't do too much because your sound is already compressed. So for guitar, a compressor belongs a lot more on a clean sound than on a distorted sound because the distortion itself is compressing. By the way, let's look at a comparison between two waves. So you have the uncompressed wave that we saw with the waves compressor earlier. And then I just rendered the settings I had, pretty drastic settings, and you can actually see what happens. It got louder, but also the little valleys in between the notes are kind of gone because, as I said, it will result in sounding as if there's more sustain. So you can actually see what what the end result will be in the red wave. Let's push it all the way up. Very, very quiet playing, of course, now will result in not being quiet. Can't really get a lot of volume differences anymore because everything is squished. Really cool. And almost no noise, even though I'm really pushing it. What I love on this thing is the EQ knob. What frequency it works on, I don't know. Some high frequency. So this is kind of the same frequency response I'm getting from the amp, but you can push the cool frequency, whatever that is. Whoa, that's bad. That's actually kind of cool. I don't like dull sounds, but hey, that's cool. Let's push the Hornet. Neat, huh? That was the shimverb mode, the shimmer mode from the shimverb, which we will look at in detail. So for me, actually, this is where it's way cool. EQ up, so you got the high end. And for me, that's clean sound heaven. A little bit of univibe from the Mod Factory, a little bit of spring reverb from the shimverb, and you're good. Let's go and look at humbucker sounds. We got the Steve Morse Music Man here. Kind of telly-ish, but with humbuckers. So this is front humbucker by itself. Spank immediately. There's the spank. That's actually a Brand Mason thing. Very cool. Yeah, I'm German, but I'm trying a little bit of country stuff. Not gonna work, but I'll try anyway. So if we go to the back here. I think for the country people, this would be killer. This is a great pedal for that kind of stuff. I just can't play like that. I'd love to play, to hear Johnny Hilland with that pedal. That would be so cool. As I said, with distortion not as pronounced. So, what else is left to say? Let me think. If you play clean sounds quite a bit, or slightly overdriven sounds, let's try slightly overdriven actually. Good point there, Henning. Good point. So there's my slightly overdriven sound. Again, the distortion right now, or the overdrive, is behind the comp. My favorite compressor so far, and you're gonna now hear it a little bit in context. Okay, primarily rhythm stuff, so you're gonna hear how it will cut through a mix like it's butter. be cool to really remember what the chord progression is. It is a G, D, and then E minor, without the C sharp, of course, and the C major. And of course, that was the shim verb on spring mode. You can also put it on room mode. Everything off. No offense to the PRS SE20 6v6 amp, but sounds a lot nicer with those Mooer pedals in front of it. Mooer. Okay. So much for compression. Sorry this took so long. Sorry you sat there. I mean, hey, it's your choice. But a lot of us don't know what a compressor does. And if you don't want to know, buy this one, turn it on, never turn it off, and you're good. So, on to more stuff. God, on to more stuff. My girlfriend's completely ignoring me. Because she says word games aren't funny. Then again, she has no clue, really. Because she's dating me, what does she know? So, see you later.